Hello everybody, welcome to week 5. This is the overview for week 5 and I'm so excited to get started. So the first thing I want to talk to you about are some updates. The first update I want to talk to you about is your draft 2, which is due today. I have already started printing out draft 2s from people who have handed them in early, and I haven't read anybody's yet, but that is my very first job after I'm done with this, is to start reading those papers, because my job is to get those papers back to you as soon as I possibly can, because you're going to be doing your next draft, and that is going to be due early this week. It's going to be due on Wednesday. So my job is to get that back to you fast, and your job is to start revising and doing your next draft as soon as you get your draft 2 with feedback back from me. I just want a little bit of a warning about that. I will be writing all over your paper. I'm printing them out. I will tear them apart, and I don't want you to feel like that is a bad thing or that you're not doing it right or anything like that. I'm going to do that because I want to give you as much feedback as possible, and I want this paper of yours to be the best it can possibly be. So I just want to have you be prepared for when you open up a file and there's a lot of writing, because I don't want you to be feeling like, oh my gosh, I did terrible. You didn't. I write on everybody's like that. So I just wanted you to be warned about that. The other 3 things that I wanted to talk to you about was, number 1 was description. I really feel like you all need a little bit more work on description. I think you need to do some more satellite writing with description and really dive in to like one person, one place, one scene in your act, and really focus on naming and detailing and comparing. Really focus on getting the reader to feel and experience whatever you experienced with you. And the way you do that is with description. So practice some figurative language. You know, do some exploring of word choice. Just really, you need to really work on that. And satellite writing is the best way to do that. You should probably be doing a satellite writing at least once a day, just to dive in and try and get everything you can down. You're probably not going to use everything, but no writing is wasted, because whatever you do, it's a process to get to the place where it's perfect, and it never really is there. But that's a whole nother story. So please do some of that. Also, I wanted to talk to you about dialogue. 2 things about dialogue. Dialogue is required in this paper, so make sure that you have some in this paper. And when you're in that dialogue, make sure you're embedding description, because again, if you want your reader, your audience, to hear the discussion that you're writing in your paper, the dialogue that you're writing in your paper, you need to explain what's going on. You need to center your reader in that conversation so they can hear the voices that you want them to hear. So make sure you're embedding description. When I was reading through your week 3 practices about description, some of you had it looking like movie scripts, and that is not how you're supposed to write description in a narrative. You're not going to say speaker 1, speaker 2. No. You are going to embed the dialogue within the story and within within description. So please work on that. Do some satellite writing. If you want me to see your satellite writing, there is a discussion board called Scribbles and Craft that is on the discussion boards, and I would be happy to read them. I'm not going to grade them, but I will read them, and if you ask me any questions, I will answer them. So I would like to invite you to do that, or you can do your satellite writing in a journal or a notebook, or even if you just open up a Word document and just keep your satellite writing, like you can just name it satellite writings and do them all in there. You can do whatever you want there, but please make sure you're doing that. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about dialogue is punctuation about dialogue. I had some questions about that last week, and I just want you to know that I do expect you to be punctuating dialogue correctly. I know that the OWL has some stuff on dialogue. They call it quotations. I think that's a little bit, I don't know. It feels a little bit too academic, and it's hard to read, and it will be better when you do that in your rhetorical mode. Paper will make more sense when it's centered in more of an expository text than a narrative. What I did, I had a question that I thought I knew the answer to, but I just needed to make sure I was right. And what I did was I just Googled it. How do I punctuate dialogue? And then I looked for an example that had the same situation. And then I went, oh, yep, I was right. And then I could go back and answer that question. So use your resources. We're all adults in this class, and that is part of being an adult writer and a writer in the world, is that you have to use your resources so you can do well in your writing. And I'm going to expect you to do that. I would definitely will answer any questions that you have, but I really want to encourage you to go back and maybe look at that dialogue video that I posted. Again, it's pretty basic, and look where the commas are, look where the punctuation is when it all goes inside the quotation marks. So just take a look again, and then if you have a situation that is not included on that video, then you can go ahead and Google, and I bet you'll find your answer. Okay, the next part is serial. It's the same drill. There's a discussion board. You know how to do this, and I'm going to encourage you to do this today. I want you to figure this out as fast as possible. Get this out of your way and off your plate, because we have more to do this week. And that is this. Your draft 3, like I mentioned already, is going to be due on Wednesday. That is why I'm going to get your feedback for draft 2 done as soon as I possibly can. Your draft 3 is due on Wednesday at noon. And you're going to upload it in 2 different places. You're going to upload it just like normal in the assignment folder. That is for me. I will be reading it, and I will be filling out a little grid, like a little, I don't know, sort of like a rubric, but it's not the actual rubric, but it's sort of like the rubric that I will be using to grade you. It will help you figure out what you need to do next. And then you're also going to upload it into your partner discussion board. It's for your personal narrative, rough draft, oral workshop partner board. I have paired you with somebody in our class randomly, so everything is all organized for you there, and you are going to be doing an activity with your partner's paper. So here's what you're going to do. After you upload it both in the assignment folder and on your discussion board, you are going to download your partner's paper onto your computer and save it. So if I was partners with Jessica, I would download Jessica's paper and I would name it Jessica's paper or something, and it would go onto my hard drive. And then I would go to VoiceThread, and you're going to upload that paper into VoiceThread. Okay? So this is the important part. There is a direction sheet, and I'm going to show it to you if I can find it here. Here. This direction sheet is ridiculously detailed. I mean, like, it has every little tiny step that you could ever imagine. So you're going to want to probably print this so you have it and you can follow each direction. So like I said, you're going to upload your draft 3 to your partner, you and your partner's discussion board, right? That's your very first step. It's right there. I tell you how to add an attachment. Everything is here. So please print these directions, the rough draft oral workshop directions. They are in week 5 in content. Okay? So what you're going to be doing is once you download your partner's paper and then save it, you're going to upload it to VoiceThread. And then here's the next important part. You are going to read the paper into VoiceThread. So you're going to choose the microphone and you're going to read it. And you are not going to practice and you are not going to start over. You are just going to read it through a cold read the first time. Okay? This is important because it models for your partner their sentence fluency. So if it gets awkward or if you stumble in a place and you can't figure it out, that is information for your partner that they might need to do some work in that spot on their paper. It is very important that you do this in one take, your first take, no editing, no redoing it. That will help your partner. In a face-to-face class, you do that in class, so you don't ever have time to do any practicing. So just make sure you do that correctly. All right? When you're done reading it, there is a worksheet, and it's called the Rough Draft Oral Workshop Worksheet, which is a mouthful. It looks like this, Rough Draft Oral Workshop Worksheet. And it is just a document in Word. You can do one of 3 things. You're going to have to do this. You can either print out this page and write on it with a pen and then scan it and upload it into the discussion board, or you can just type right in there if you want to, because it's a Word doc. You can just type right in there. Or if you would rather just talk through it, you can talk through it on your VoiceThread. But what needs to happen is you need to read each page, right, of the narrative and end it, and then you're going to start a new discussion, like a new audio file on that same page. I've done that a couple times when I've done VoiceThreads, and your name comes up twice, and it's just fine. But then you can talk through it if you want to. So you can do it any one of those 3 ways, but you have to do this Rough Draft Oral Workshop Worksheet. That will help your partner as well, and that needs to, again, be on the discussion board. So everything you're doing, you're going to share back in the discussion board with your partner. So you're going to do a shareable link with your VoiceThread. You're going to upload, or if you talk through it, that will be on your VoiceThread, this oral workshop thing. And the third thing that you're going to upload is you're going to read the paper carefully, and you're going to annotate their paper, and you're going to edit their paper, and you're going to upload that annotated, edited paper to the discussion board. Okay? So your partner will have all kinds of feedback from you. They will be getting feedback from me, and you will get that from your partner as well. What happens if your partner doesn't post by the due date, Wednesday at noon? Here are some directions. First, try emailing them. Hey, I'm ready to read your paper, or whatever, right? Be polite about it. Then you can also email me. If you don't get a paper from your partner by 10 o'clock on Thursday morning, now we're getting to that emergency time, then you need to email me, and then I will work it out from there. I will give you a new partner, or I will figure it out, okay? The other thing that you're doing is a rhetoric crash course. You're going to be reading 3 chapters from Thank You for Arguing, and you're going to be listening to the rhetoric crash course. I'm hurrying because my time's almost up. If you have questions, please email me, and I hope you guys have a great week. That's all for now.